So first up, I know you're really shocked by this, we're going to practice our naming. Notice I erased the stuff off the board. It's not a test or a quiz, but try to see if you can name the points, lines, planes, etc. without using your notes or anything. Not a test, just try it. Because they took the easy way to name plane F. I like to use the letter, but no such luck. So if you can't use that, because they already stole it from us, we have to have the word plane. Have to, and it wants to, so I might as well write it twice while I'm at it here. And then how many points do you need to name a plane? 3. Any 3 not on the same line? Well, we don't have a lot of choices here. What's the only 3 points in plane F? A, what else? B and E. So scramble them however you want to put it. A, B, E. How about B, E, A? Whatever order you want there. All right, give 2 other names for line G. Boy, I really took all the easy ways. So line G, this guy. So I'm going to use any 2 points on the line. So I'm going to do BC with the line symbol. Give me another name for it. C to what? D. And of course, you could have those switched around, line CE, line DC. All right, 2 different segments. So segment symbol. Give me a segment. Segment what? Don't make me start calling on people. Segment. Ben, give me a segment. Thank you. All right, another segment. Nobody's brave enough to answer. I know you guys have another segment.
BC.
Thank you. That wasn't so hard. Okay, 3 coplanar points. Coplanar, same plane. You only have 3 points to pick from. You can't get this wrong. What are the 3 points in the plane? I like the B. Is C in the plane? No such luck. Is D in the plane? No such luck. So we're going to use what else? E and. Okay. All right, let's do some math. Here we go. M is the midpoint of segment PQ. Find the value of x. Okay, what does midpoint do? Cuts it in half. So the left equals the right. So there's our geometry knowledge. So we're going to set the left. I'm going to do it above it here because I don't want to be at the bottom of the screen for you. So there's the geometry part. Now we're back into algebra. How many answers are you going to have for x? 2. And we're going to have to set it equal to 0. And we're going to do one of our favorite F words in math, factor on it. Oh boy. Okay. So we're going to subtract 36x. Now I'm going to run out of room, so I'm going to continue on here in the next slide. I want to say it was plus 7, right? Yeah. Okay, let's factor. Now, can I just do the, hey, what are the 2 numbers that multiply to 7 and add to negative 36? No, because, I mean, there aren't any. Plus, our lead coefficient, 5, is ruining our life and making us do that long factoring process. So you have to multiply the outside 2 numbers. What's 5 times 7? What multiplies to 35 and adds to negative 36? 35 and 1. Positives, negatives, what do we need on those? Negatives. I like it. Now I can't just go x minus 35, x minus 1. That doesn't distribute out to our original problem. We have to divide each of these numbers by what? 5. All right, mental math. What's negative 35 over 5? Negative 7. So there's one of our factors. Of course, negative 1/5 doesn't divide out to anything nice. Which number goes first, the 1 or the 5? 5. Good, the bottom one. So I'm going to make this guy 5x minus 1. Answers for x. What's your first answer? X equals? 7. Second, lovely. Fraction answer is? 1/5. Perfect. Add the 1, divide by 5. That's all we have to do to solve for x. So lots of, you can see, algebra pops up in these geometry questions. You just can't get away from it, my friends. All right, yesterday, if you remember, notice it's still at the bottom from yesterday, we did midpoint formula over here. We're going to do distance formula today. We're going to figure out the distance between the points. That's why I pointed out that square root button and all that good stuff in your calculator, because that's where that comes from. Now, this looks crazy. Let me explain it to you. Distance formula basically hinges or develops from Pythagorean theorem, which you can see over on the side. You know Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So what they're doing is they're taking their 2 points here, a and b, they made a right triangle out of it, and then they're using distance formula. They're using Pythagorean theorem to get the distance formula. So this is our distance formula we're going to use. So most of you, because I see, I'm so happy, most of you have graphing calculators. Most of you, it's going to be 2 lines of work today. You're going to set it up and punch it in the calculator, okay? So x2, x1, your x coordinates, you're subtracting. y2, y1, you're subtracting the y coordinates. So we're going to find the distance. Sometimes it gets fancy. They might ask you for the length of the segment. That is the same as finding the distance. That's your tip-off to do the distance formula. All right, let's do it. So find the distance between the points. Now, that's our first one. I'm going to be dramatic about it, of course, and I'm going to label our points. First x, first y, second x, second y. Do you have to always label? No, but I'm going to do it so we know what's happening here in our notes. Distance formula, it's on the board. I just happen to know it, of course. So first set of parentheses, x2 minus x1. So I'm literally going to replace the numbers for x2 minus x1. So x2, 2, minus x1. Then my formula has squared plus. Some kids were forgetting the plus, so you need the plus. y2 minus y1. So y2, we have that label as -8 minus y1. Now, most of you have sophisticated enough calculators, I'm going to stop right here for a second, that you can pull it up and you can start typing in exactly what is written on your note sheet. Type it in exact. I'm going to do it, but I want you to try it first. And you're going to get a decimal. Your homework's going to tell you to round to 1 decimal place, so that's what you can do too. I'm just looking mostly to see what we have for calculators. Calculator file? Do you need one? You have one? Do you want, is it a graphing? Here, put it in my charger and borrow one. So yours, I figured this out when I was going to work. So here's what. This is just how this one works. So you get your square root. You have to put like a double set of parentheses to tell it to do all of this. So I'm going to do 2 minus 8 squared plus. So just what you had. And then you have to do that extra parenthesis at the back. Yep. Let me get out of the way here. So I'm going to start typing mine in here. So we had, I gotta look here. We had 2 minus 8 squared. Here we go, 2 minus 8. Might help if I put the parentheses. I hate this thing. 2 minus 8. Here we go. Squared plus. Okay, let's take a look at the second one, -8 minus 3. Now, one thing on your graphing calculator it might get a little angry about, make sure you use the negative button down here instead of subtraction. Otherwise, it will tell you like syntax error. Okay, so I'm just going to double check I don't have any typos in there. -8 minus 3 squared looks good. I love it. Are you ready? Let's hit enter, see what we got. Well, that was anti-dramatic. Come on, enter. 12.5. How'd we do? 12.5. Now, depending on your calculator, another smart board, it would just automatically do it. So the other possibility, because I'm looking around, like I said, most of you have graphing calculators. That's all you have to do for work today. If you're like, oh, if my scientific, it's just not happening. You can do some mental math. 2 minus 8, -6, -6 squared. Negative 8 minus 3, negative 11, negative 11 squared. And you should be able to type that in your calculator and that will give it to you that style too. But like I said, most of you have the graphing, so we don't have a lot to do. So here we go. X1, Y1, X2, Y2. Let's plug it in. All right, conscientious of our signs. X2, which I have labeled as 7, minus X1. Now careful here, because you do have a double negative. So if you want, you could write instead of minus a negative, what's minus a negative really? Plus. So I'm not going to, just because I don't want to make a mess out of it, but you could put 7 plus 7 there. I would put 7 plus 7 there. Okay, Y2 minus Y1 squared. All right, you're up, punch it in, see what you get. I like this stuff, that is way easier than this. Make sure you get everything filled out on your notes. Remember, I collect those packets back at the end of the chapter. 4 points. Man, you guys are so good. Crushing it. I like it. I don't care what you round to. I notice some of you have 2 decimals, some have 1, whatever. Let's go. Let's see. Let me see. So your square root. So here, I think you, another calculator, I have to put a second set of parentheses to tell it to do this whole darn thing. Let's say squared plus. Well, we're doing this one. Right? I was trying to do it first, so let's get it together. What is it? 7 plus 7. 7 minus 5. And then I think we have to get it again, close up that extra parenthesis. So I think that's the, because I caught that on another kid. You should get 18.4, or 0.44, I guess, depends what you round it to. Any questions on 18.4? Looks like we were crushing it. We got everybody. You guys are good with your calculator skills. Okay. I like it. I like it a lot. Flip the page. More distance formula, but in a wordy style. Because why wouldn't we? Your school is 4 miles east and 1 mile south of your apartment. Interesting. A recycling center where your class is going on a field trip is 2 miles east and 3 miles north of your apartment. Estimate the distance, believe it or not, we're going to do distance formula with all this stuff, between the recycling center and your school. Now, for the first one of these, let's get dramatic and talk about our compass rose, our directions. North, south, what's this one? What direction? West, east. Or as one of my seniors taught me last year, which I'm horrified by this, never eat soggy waffles. Have you heard that? I was like, what is this craziness? Yeah, that's told me how he has to remember it. Never eat soggy waffles. Clearly I even remembered it. All right, I've never heard of it. Okay, your school's 4 miles east, 1 mile south. Now, whenever we start marking out anything on a graph grid or the map, of course we always start at the origin. So I'm thinking about this 4 miles east, 1 mile south. I want to write that as an ordered pair. Well, if you go 4 miles east, you're going for which direction? To the right, which is your x coordinate. If you're going 1 mile south, you're going down 1. So that's your y coordinate, and since you're going down, so there's our ordered pair. Now I'm going to do the same thing on this 2 miles east, 3 miles north. If I go 2 miles east, I'm going 2 to the right, your x coordinate. 3 miles north, you're going up 3, your y coordinate. So it's just translating all of that information into ordered pairs. Now, distance. I need the distance between it. Distance formula. x1, y1, x2, y2. Let's set it up and punch it in. So square root, big square root, x2 minus x1. So my x2 is 2 minus x1. Don't forget the plus, that's easy to forget. y2 minus y1. Now careful here, because y1's a negative 1. So you have that minus and negative, which obviously I would just put that as a plus. I just don't want to make a messy plus over it. So punch that one in and see what you get. You can round to 1 decimal on it. Making my job easy today, Mr. Moreland. Our calculator skills are on fire. Ooh, a Casio. Since I've used a Casio, it's been a while. All right, depends what you round to. Just checking here. You should have, depending on what you round to, 4.5, 4.47, however you wanted to round that. If you really want to get fancy on it, because you know I'm all about fancy. I saw a lot of 4.7, so I'm going to go with that. I'm even going to throw a label on it. Miles. Ooh. I mean, it's a word problem we should label. Any questions on how to punch that in? All right, guys. And I see some of you already working on. You're up. So I'm going to help you with the ordered pair part. So 4 miles east, 1 mile south. What's your ordered pair? What's your coordinates that represent 4 miles east, 1 mile south? 4, 1 or -1? -1 since it's south. I like it. Okay, 5 miles east, 2 miles north. What's your ordered pair for that? 5 miles east, 2 miles north. What's your ordered pair? Don't all yell at once. 5, 2. Thank you. All right, we're going to do the distance between those points, everybody. So label, of course, x1, y1, x2, y2. I'm going to turn you loose and let you set it up on your own and punch that one in. Round to 1 decimal. And if you're feeling fancy, throw in a label. So good. So good. Might as well do the last one if you're done with this one.
Is it the same thing?
Yep, do the distance between them. I might as well take a break. No pressure, but I have not seen a wrong answer yet, people. Man, some of you got them all. Too easy. Looking good, people. You might as well, if you got this one, go to the next one. Do the last one too. You're doing the distance right now. I like it. Keep right arrowing over. See if we get one. Okay, so here, I think this is, are some of the other ones not coming up?
No, this one.
Okay, so I think on your calculator, if this is, I caught this today, can I insert, you have to do like a double parenthesis to tell it to do the whole thing, so I'm gonna do a double in the back. There you go. That's just some of those models. All right, you should get about 3.16, 3.2, whatever you rounded to. Man, you guys even labeled. Class is a winner. All right, work on the last one. Find AB, that is the distance, which I see some of you already did that too. So do that last one. So good. Right. Right. Got it. You're gonna have it. Got it. Got it. Maybe you guys are good. So good. Crushing it. Crushing it. You're doing so good, everybody. You're so close. Oh, crap. I think if you looked at like the last one accidentally, you've got 9 there. I think you just, yeah, yep. Change it and you got it. All right, good deal. We should have, it looks like, is it working? Yes, 14.2 for the last one. Any questions on setting that one in or punching it in? You guys are making my job easy. I'll show you just one little kind of a trick, a different way if you wanted to do this one. So if you want to do just normal distance formula, you're going to have to write down these endpoints, the coordinates. So that's not a big deal. So the left one, it looks like we're at -3, 4. And your right coordinate, we're at 4, -2. And then of course you can plug those in distance formula and go through the normal stuff. But I'm going to show you a way to work smarter, not harder. This is a nice one where you can make that right triangle because we have the picture, and I can use Pythagorean theorem. Meaning, check this out. So I'm just going to count how long these sides are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we need the hypotenuse. So the hypotenuse is the length or the distance between those points. So I'm just going to go old school Pythagorean theorem, which is less work than the distance formula. I'm all about less work. 36, 7 squared. What's 36 plus 49? Can you do it without a calculator? What is it? 85. Good mental math. Last thing you're going to do, what's going to get rid of the squaring so you get C alone? What cancels squaring? Square root. And that will give you the distance, the same answer between the points. So I just wanted to show you how you can do it on the graph grid. You can make a triangle and go Pythagorean theorem. Or you could plug those into your distance formula and you get the exact same answer. However you want to do it. So I'm going to leave you to punch that in.